Welcome to Real Talk. I am your host, Jasveer Kaur Baban, and we'll be joined today, like every week, by the wonderful Yogi of Sound, Professor Surinder Singh. Welcome, Yogi ji.
Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you. Um, I'm going to jump right into it. We've received a wonderful response from a lot of the viewers. They've reached out by email, and many of them want to know more about you. There's questions about music as well, but the majority of questions were everybody's very interested in your background, and like lots of different things, like why you started, what inspired you. So we'll go a question at a time. Um, and one of the questions that came up is that in the field of Sikh music, in terms of revival of the traditional instruments that are associated with the court of the Sikh gurus that were used for spiritual practice, you're one of the key contributors in this generation to actually bring back and revive these instruments and be at the forefront of pioneering title rag kirtan. What is it that inspired you to step into that space, and what made you feel there was a need for revival?
When I was growing up, it was just probably coincidence or how Kartapurk have created the framework that I moved from Allahabad, a different state in India, to Punjab at the age of between 8 and 9 to be with my grandparents because my father, he was posted in a different state due to his duty in Indian Air Force. For me, it was a cultural shock. It was completely different lifestyle when I walked into Punjab. Food was different, language and the things they did was different. So I was quite used to I didn't know the difference between temple or gurdwara or mosque. So I went to temples and saw the procedures very, very different, and I started asking questions. And it was my questions which took me to the quest. You know, it is okay to be curious and it is okay to ask questions. But there is a times where when you want to follow that, when once you understood something and it makes so much sense for you that you want to go more deeper into it. And I was very fortunate to have great teachers. Grandmother being incredible example, inspiring, and teaching me practically, giving me an experience and always preparing me for any situation. And Mahant Ajit Singh in same village where I will go to school. First, I will go bow to the Gurdwara Sahib to sometime had opportunity to go inside to have a darshan of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. But sometime being lazy and kids, you know how it is, and don't want to take the shoes off, and so outside of it, just do the bow to just uh, imagine the Sri Guru Sahib at front and a bow. And in this sort of everyday routine, meeting Mahanta Ajit Singh, who was always there, and hearing him with his taus. He
Mm.
used to play taus, and weeks went past and months. Then one day I decided it was so charismatic, it was so hypnotic, and I sat down. I started asking him questions, and it was his answers who actually gave me um, that jewel in my life. That if I have the tools to compose my psyche, how do I relate to myself? What is my psychological field, and what is a purpose of puja? What is the purpose of bandagi? What is the purpose of nitnem? What is the purpose of kirtan? And how to listen to it? And what is the singing of kirtan? How can I use it? And he used to insist to, especially to me, he'll say, Surinder, invest your time into listening. Listening is a skill, and Guru Nanak Sahib says, Suniye dukh paap ka nas. If you want to be happy and healthy, then understand these skills of listening. This is the only way you will understand your mind. And these were the things, Jasveer Kaurji, that helped me toward the sensitivity behind the sound. When Guru Babaji says anhad, then it takes me toward the nad, to the sound. First, I have to understand the sound. And my teacher used to say, one who doesn't understand his or her own body and psyche, how can it try to be one with the Creator? This, one step at a time. First, understand who you are, what
Mm-hmm.
you are, what is your capability, and what is your capacity, and use mastery, use skills, gather those skills. And Gurmat and the sound, Sangeet, Gurmat Sangeet, Kirtan, the way he shared it with me, it made so much sense that everything was relatable to me. From where I struggled with math and where I struggled with Punjabi at that time as a language, how he helped me to bypass my situation, which could have caused disaster, and gave me success. He told me how to listen, how to then express, how to compose this. And this is how my journey started. I was inspired by him, but I never had a chance to learn Taos. Or he will never, like, I think in all 6 to 7 years of mine, every day meeting him, once probably or twice he put his Taos on my shoulder, once or twice. And I never dare to ask him, Manji, can I play your tool? He was so kind, so lovely personality, but there was just something about him that I will only ask for the things which I needed, or the questions I was supposed to ask, due to respect and a maryada between guru and the Sikh guru, and shishya, or teacher and student. So this is how I started. When I moved to UK, I was coming back from one of the class. My main field is the sound, the vocals, and the composition, the psychological composition behind the human voice. And how do we listen to our emotions? How do we feel them? And how do we then compose the moods? By diagnosing what we are in situation we are, and then coming out of it. And what Guru Babaji is saying, what is Guru Baba's message or his experience? How can I utilize that? So that was my field of research, or developing, or composing. But one day I was coming back from the class, and in my heart, it was like, Satguruji, you gave me so much, so much blessings of yours. You gave me my health back through your kirtan. You gave me my sanity back. The tragedy I had in my life, when I lost everything, not just physical body, but my senses too. It was a kirtan. It was a whole mechanism, programming of Guru Nanak Sahib's kirtan that brought me back to life. I owe my life back to kirtan. I'm living today only because of kirtan, and that therefore for the kirtan, for those seekers who really want to transform using Guru's program. So I think the pioneering goes to Guru Nanak Sahib, giving us this beautiful thing and these instruments like Guru Nanak Sahib gave us a rabab. It's not that rabab didn't exist before, but his rabab. So there was a purpose behind that. He tweaked it and he created a new model. So is Guru Arjan Sahib. When you look into Gachik from the Persia, just where you've done your research, when you will go Honiman Museum, when you will go Victoria Albert Museum, you will see a lot of sarandas which are used in Indian system. But Guru Arjan Sahib's saranda, a tiny bit different because of its emotional exposure to our listening. So Guru Baba brought those revolutions. Mardang cut into two pieces, and Satta and Balwandiji created Jodi, the pair, at the Khadur Sahib, and brought it to Sri Darbar Sahib Amritsar to play with Guru Arjan Sahib. Amazing, isn't it? Guru Hargobind Sahib Maharaj utilizing sarangi um, to sing the ballads. That they said Ravana invented this instrument to praise of his Kartapur. Then Dasme Pacha Guru Gobind Singh, making life so simple, easy, giving a spouse in 1683, 84 onwards, between those years from Paunta Sahib, and then 6 7 years after 16 at the 90s, that Dilruba was given, that Mata Sundari ji took charge to carve the psyche of Sikh nation. So the children were taught with this simple, easy instrument to compose their psyche. The tool was used as a Dilruba. So I was coming back from class just here thinking, Guru Baba, you gave me all of these things, but I want to play with those tools. And Guru Baba blessed me with that. I found a teacher who I knew about the sound and is remarkable approach. And so it's not that you have to relearn everything. It was the basics of the handling of the instrument. So I started with sarangi, and once I understood that, then I dedicated my life to saranda. And once you play one of the Sikh instrument, then you can play anything, any instrument on planet Earth. It's just simple mechanism. Because remember, it depends on your suniye. Your listening skills are the key points for you to be something. So your suniye, your listening prepares you to become kirtan.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, and also for giving some insight into what Sikh music is.